Hey pals, I have Hannah here again. It's the same day, but we changed clothes, so you don't need...
So you don't feel uncomfortable.
So we literally had this idea 30 seconds ago. And what are we doing today, Han?
This is a new segment called Annoying Things to Ask Your Trans Friend. So I'm just gonna ask a bunch of questions that, like, probably shouldn't be asked, and he's gonna answer them and probably hate me.
Probably.
The question I just asked you was, let's start off with a doozy. The question I just asked was, how do you feel about people who are transracial? Who are you zooming in on?
No. 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 Transracial. Nothing. You can't be trans anything other than gender. Okay? It's called transgender. It's called transgender for a reason.
Okay, so what about people who, like, identify as an Apache attack helicopter?
Listen, I am literally going to fucking kill you throughout, like...
Because I feel like I do.
Who can say? Next question.
So, guys that you date, does that really make them gay, or?
Well, good question. The guys that I date are anything but heterosexual. They can call themselves anything they want. They're not straight. Because if they're dating me, they have a boyfriend. And if it's boy on boy, then that's not very straight, is it? So, it doesn't make them gay, but it doesn't make them straight. They're not straight anymore if they're dating me, so sorry.
But what about the fact that you have a vagina?
Also a good question, because this has been addressed numerous times on this channel, because any genitals can be found in any gender, in any gender. Anybody can have any genitals. Me having a vagina does not make me a girl. It makes the sex I have, technically straight based on parts, but still gay because boy on boy, even though it's vagina on dick.
That's actually very interesting because I was having this exact conversation with somebody at school and you weren't there and I didn't really know what to say.
I mean, I have sex as a straight woman would because I have a vagina and I like dick. But it's not like that kind of sex. Penetrative sex isn't inclusive to just straight people.
So when it gets down to it, the guys you date aren't straight.
No. If you think I'm cute and you're a straight male, you're not straight, sorry.
So, if you haven't had a sex change, does that really make you a guy?
Yes. Yes. Because I don't plan on getting bottom surgery, so I'm always gonna have a vagina. But the more I progress with T, the more masculine I'm gonna be and the more I'm gonna pass in the world as a male. But, so I'll be perceived as a male, I'm just gonna have a vagina, so.
Well, I've always known you by your birth name, so it's just easier for me to call you that.
No. Listen, the reason you're saying that probably is because you're cis. And if you're cis, you're inferior to me. That's not true. If you're cis, then obviously you probably don't really understand what my issues are. And
Issues.
my issues.
You're not issues, you're perfect.
Just the best thing for you to do as this person is to do the things that I tell you to do regarding me. Because that's the quickest way to not be an asshole.
Okay, well, what about if I'm telling a story about you before you had transitioned? Then what do I call you?
You call me the name that I go by now. Because That's me.
So, if you're a guy, then why do you wear makeup?
Because boys can wear makeup. Cis or trans. Anybody can wear makeup.
So, if you're trans, then why do you even date guys?
Good question. Well, because I'm gay.
The coming out story.
Short answer is because I'm fucking gay. You're so pretty. Look at your, you're so pretty. Look at your cute little haircut. You're so cute. Oh.
Okay, a genuine question that, like, it's been debated, like, should you have to put your birth, like, your sex on official documents?
I think it depends. I think if it's a medical thing, yeah. Because I have, you know, the parts, so I need the proper care. But I think that if it's something that has nothing to do with, like, your genitalia, then no. And I like, it makes me kind of freak out a little bit, like, on documents when it asks for sex, but they don't need to know your sex, they're asking gender.
Right.
You know? And it's like, they're not the same thing. And you're asking me what my genitals are, but you should be asking me how I identify.
Right.
So it's like if I go to the doctor and they ask sex, I'm going to say female. But if I'm filling out just, like, some random fucking thing, I'm going to say male, because you don't need to know that I have a vagina if you're not, like, looking at it.
Yeah. I agree. I just heard that, like, some people refuse to ever say, like, even in a medical...
And, yeah, and, like, I get it,
and I think that could
but
possibly be dangerous.
Yeah, because, like, I don't have a prostate, you know? Like, I'm not gonna need prostate... Like, if I put my sex as male, then they're gonna assume that I have male parts, and I don't need the care that comes with male parts.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're going to the doctor, tell them what genitals you have, if it's a concern, you know, like, if it's not a concern, you don't need to, but.
So, what bathroom do you use?
Good question, because I don't fucking know. The truthful answer is both. Because it depends where I am, because it also depends on the bathroom, because if it's a one-person bathroom, then I'll go in the men's. But if it's like, if it's a crowded place, and if it's like a stall bathroom, I'll probably go in the women's, because I feel safer. Like, when we took our trip to Chicago, we stopped at, like, a rest stop, and there was, like, a ton of truckers. And I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, Mom, I'm coming with you. And she's like, yeah, I think you should, because, like, not to stereotype truckers or anything, but... You know, I didn't really want to be a little gay twink in a bathroom full of truckers. So, I'm the trans friend.
And I'm being annoying. And now you don't have to ask trans people these questions in public.
Hannah asks them, and I answer them so that you guys don't have to. We do the hard work for you.
A lot of these things I already knew. I've just heard a lot of people ask these questions, and I know that they're not always appropriate and can be really invasive and sometimes downright rude. So, if
you forgot, how do you have sex?
Alright.
Because that's a question I get a lot. It's not necessarily like how do you have sex, but it's like how do you prefer? Because I feel like a lot of people assume that since I'm a trans male who likes men that I want to, like, take it in the ass all the time.
Yeah.
Which is true part of the time. But usually I prefer in the vag, because that's less crazy.
Well, I mean, why let all those nerve endings go to waste?
Honestly, yeah. Especially since I don't plan on getting bottom surgery. Like, I have the shit. Like, might as well stick it in there.
If you really have a question, what do you prefer? like, if somebody has a question, do you want them to ask you? How do you feel about these types of questions?
I think a lot of the questions, I feel like for the more maybe personal stuff, you could maybe Google. Like, like there's certain things that you'd be better off like just looking up rather than asking a trans person, because some of the stuff about like my genitals or about like shit like that is stuff that's very personal and like that I don't really want to talk about to everybody, or you know, like how do I have sex and stuff like that. But if it's like a if it's a genuine like curious thing about like what all's happening to me, or just a genuine curiosity thing that maybe you wouldn't be able to find on Google that's like a me thing, then that's fine and I'll answer those. But I feel like you just gotta think a little bit, because sometimes I get messages and I'm like, what the fuck, like fucking think about that before you send it. So use your little brain and think about it before you ask a trans person.
There you go.
Think about it.
Hopefully this helped.
Yeah, don't ask people these questions. I mean, ask some of them, but you could probably pick and choose which ones you think you should ask. Don't ask me about...
Don't be like me.
Don't ask me about Apache fucking helicopters. Because I don't even understand where that came from in the first place, and it's not a trans thing. So... I was on Omegle one time, and this guy came on, and he asked me my pronouns, and I was like, oh, cool, like, he, him, I'm... You know, and he's like, oh, how do you identify? And I was like, oh, I'm trans male, female, and male. And he says, well, you know, I identify as an Apache helicopter, gender fluid. And I was like, we started off so good.
Why would you ask them?
like, thank you for being nice, but it wasn't for a nice cause.
Yeah.
It hurt me. Bitch. But with that in mind, do ask people pronouns if you're not sure, and if you're not sure and you can't ask, then just use they, because you're not going to misgender someone if you're using a neutral pronoun. So if you don't know my pronouns, use they, but I use he, him.
I'm gonna end it. I'm getting uncomfortable.
Okay, thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me and Han today, and she'll probably be here a couple more times because we're friends. Leave suggestions for videos in the comments. Ask appropriate questions in the comments. Don't fucking ask me stupid ass fucking inappropriate questions. Sorry. So yeah, subscribe. See you next week probably. Bye. Thumbnail.
Okay, I should like be like, you should make a really annoyed face and then
I don't know how to make it.
Just be like
Good shit. Bye.